private schools that charges a lot of money, but they don't their education is not any quality education, but in our perception, if I send my child to a private school, it will mean automatically, it equals high, good education. It's not always the case. But in government schools, I do agree that maybe there's, in terms of efficiency, I think, what do we demand from our schools? What do we demand from our teachers? What do they teach? And therefore, as citizens, we need to actually start demanding the quality of education from the teachers who are teaching our kids in public schools. With regard to the inequality, how we define it in Africa, whether it's Himbas who have got more cattle than others. Well, even with the Himbas themselves, there are people who have got more cattle than others, and therefore it doesn't matter what it is, however you look at it, really. It's not one definition just to say whatever we regard to be something we all yearn for, and give an opportunity to have that, what we think we all have to have. It doesn't mean there's always be the same, depends. As I say, if you think about the Himba with the cattle, maybe it's like, I don't have a cattle at all, and the other guy has got 1,000 cattle. So that's inequality in itself. So it's difficult to say, just only one definition.
Can I make one last comment?
Yeah,
at the very end of my talk, I touched on this. I didn't express myself very well, I fear. Money isn't, there's been this discussion that money isn't everything, that wealth is not the sole purpose of life, and that's quite right. And you actually see in some of the most developed economies in the world now, Scandinavian countries are known for this, a shift away from materialistic concerns in life. They're much more concerned with their lifestyle, they're not trying to acquire stuff so much anymore. And you see this in the United Kingdom with the younger people. They don't want to work as hard at work. They're not as, their values are changing. And there's a kind of natural, you see this in economies as they develop, what people are concerned with. So at first it's survival, then when they get a bit richer they want stuff. And then, eventually, oddly, they stop caring so much about that. And I think it's very important that when you're doing these, you're thinking about policy around development and wealth, that you not impose some vision of how people should live and what they should value. That should be left to them. And there may be people who don't want any part of modernization, so to speak, or whatever you want to call it. They may not want to, and they shouldn't be corralled into doing it if they don't. And their choices shouldn't be lamented. That's their choice. So again, it's about opportunity, I think, not about kind of pushing people in some direction to improve national statistics. Who cares about national statistics, right? It's actual lives that matter, how people are actually living. So I take your point.
Thank you very much. We're looking at the time now. We have reached it's 10:27. It's time for us to take a short tea break. Looking at the interest in the issues, I just wanted to find out from the audience as well. We love democracy in Namibia. Should we take 2 more questions, or should we quickly go for the tea break? Okay. Well, tea break has come up, so we'll take the tea break for about 15 minutes. At exactly 1:45, we are going to start with the second session, where we look at education, improved opportunities to learn and reason, as well as talk about the burning question in the room, which is, of course, the land question, on issues around production and investment. Thank you.